happenings, global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. It looks like the person of Simi Fubara may be having a bit of rest, just a little bit of rest, as Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Falana, have decided to drag everybody. When I mean everybody, they're going to find out what he intends to achieve through this, and Nigerians are reacting because it's about the federal government, it's about Tinubu's government, and it's about what is going on. The moment we're going to find out, but before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button beside it to see the notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Now, according to the news, is Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Falana, and Hawa Mustafa have sued the Attorney General Federation, the Education Minister, Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEA, the Attorney Generals of the 36 states of the Federation, and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, over the education of a Nigerian child of school age. Now, the suit filed by the duo on behalf of themselves and the Alliance on Surviving COVID-19 and Beyond has the Attorney General of the Federation, Minister of Education, Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEA, as the first to third respondents, and the Attorney Generals of the 36 states as the fourth to the 39th respondent. No jokes. Now, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, is the 40th respondent. Now, in the suits, the applicants are asking the Federal High Court in Lagos to give an order directing the 4th to 40th respondent to pay the counterpart fund to access the matching grant of the 68 billion naira in the account of the Universal Basic Education Fund and report compliance with the order within 30 days of the delivery of the judgment of the Honorable Court. Now, they also want the court to give an order directing the 4th to 40th respondent to pay the counterpart fund to access that matching grant of Universal Basic Education Fund as and when due forthwith. They are also asking the court to declare that by virtue of Section 2, Subsection 1 of the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, the respondents are legally obligated to provide free, compulsory, and universal basic education for every Nigerian child of primary and junior secondary school age. Now, other declarations sought are that 1. By virtue of Section 11, Subsection 1 of the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act, the federal government shall contribute a block grant of not less than 2% of its consolidated revenue fund to the Universal Basic Education Fund on an annual basis. That by virtue of Section 11, Subsection 2 of the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act, each state of the Federation shall contribute not less than 50% of the total cost of project as its commitment in the execution of the project to qualify for the federal government block grant pursuant to subsection 1, sub 1 of this section, and that the refusal or failure of the respondent to access the sum of 68 billion naira for the universal basic education of children of school age in Nigeria is illegal as it violates Section 11, subsection 2 of the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act. Now, the applicants are also asking that the court to determine whether the respondents are not under a legal obligation to provide free, compulsory, and universal basic education for every Nigerian child of school age by virtue of Section 2, Subsection 1 of the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act, LFN 2004. They also want the court to determine whether the refusal or failure of the respondent to contribute not less than 50% of the total cost of project as its commitment to the execution of the free compulsory education project for every child or every Nigerian child of school age is illegal as it violates Section 11, Subsection 2 of the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act and laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and whether the refusal or failure of the respondent to access the sum of 68 billion naira for the universal basic education of children of school age in Nigeria is illegal, as it violates Section 11, subsection 2 of the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004. Now, in an affidavit sworn to by Falana at the Federal High Court Registry in Lagos on January 26, 2024, the senior lawyer noted that a report made public by the United Nations Children Funds, which is UNICEF, recently estimated the total number of out-of-school children in Nigeria to be 20.2 million. That's much. He also noted that the report added that 1 in 3 children in the country is out of school, and that the country has the highest number of out-of-school children in the whole world. He said the first respondent is the Minister of Justice and the Chief Law Officer of the Federation to enforce law and order and ensure compliance with all orders granted by Nigerian court. The first respondent is the national authority appointed by the federal government to enforce orders granted to the court or granted by the Court of Justice of the Economic Community of West African States. Now, the second respondent is constitutionally responsible for the formulation of educational policies and ensuring quality control at all levels of education in Nigeria. And the third respondent is the body created by the Universal Basic Education and Other Matters Act 2004, that's UBEA, responsible for disbursement of the federal government universal basic education grant to states and other stakeholders and the coordination of the implementation of the UBEA program throughout Nigeria. Now, the fourth respondent are the chief law officers of the 36 states of the federation. That the Universal Basic Education and Other Matters Act 2004 UBEA provides a compulsory free universal basic education for all children of primary and junior secondary school age in Nigeria. Wow, this is interesting. That kind of low-lying fruit, 60-something billion naira, and all it takes for you to put counterpart fraud in it and say that Nigerian children could have access to it. Can you imagine what we have, the greatest ever, which is the highest number of out-of-school children. That's our future. That's out of school, and we are shouting that we have a lot of insecurity, banditry. What are this next generation? Most next generation in other countries, they're already equipping them with technology, equipping them, to become fine thinkers. Our own is out of school, no job, poverty very high, inflation rate superlative. In fact, it's growing exponential positioning, and all we do is to just think of me, myself, and I, my family, and only me for politicians. And we're joking with our next generation. But kudos, I must say, well done. One of our finest senior advocates of Nigeria, I'm talking about Falana. This is not personal. He decided to take it personal because, hey, these children we're talking about, our next generation, even if his own children are doing just about very well, but then again, we need a peaceful place called Nigeria for even his own children to try. For us, most big boys will be taking their children abroad and leaving the so-called after-school children who eventually become whatever they choose to in future, which is not going to be good for economy. If you ask me, we have a situation.